Hello, it's John, and welcome to my armchair, where I would like to share with you my monthly business reflections and review. Now, of course, one thing I've learned is that I am my business, and so this is much about reflecting about me as it is about business. Um, and the intention is to really share my journey and also to share, importantly, the things that I'm learning and how to adapt and implement these learnings. So the first is the scope of what I'm talking about is August. For context, I left my corporate job of 26 years in software engineering and artificial intelligence. I left that on the 30th of May, and on the 31st of May this year, I started my own business called Heart Centered Wellness Limited. And the company consists of a total staffing of one person, and that's me. And I have people helping me, perhaps including you if you're watching this. And so, yeah, I wanted to share, in part, a reflection of what it's like when you step out of a salary job and then you move into your own business, and then also just my progress so far and the sorts of obstacles that I've encountered and have overcome, and some I continue to overcome. In summary, if I think about like the primary kind of objective of being able to help more people, so help people on their awakening journeys, help people with their healing, help with reducing stress and anxiety and burnout, help people develop their own quantum and psychic abilities and deepen their meditation practices. All these things I've been able to continue to progress and expand. And so a theme that's helped there, that continued on from July, has been my weekly live streams on YouTube. So 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. UK time. It was on a Tuesday and a Thursday, and has just switched to a Monday and a Thursday. And they've just been incredible. In fact, the last one that we did was 46 people. It peaked at 46 people, and people were staying on for an average of over an hour, which is, if you ever look at these social media metrics, when they're a little bit useful, like their context is interesting. It's often a lot shorter, like maybe in a 5-minute video, you might keep someone's attention for, 20, 30 seconds. So having people stay for a long time is fantastic. And I had 2 special guests as well. I had, for the first time, so I had Natasha Rocha, and I also had Viviane Heller come on the live streams. It's just incredible to see them. And that one that had 46 people in the live stream was with Viviane, and it was just so incredible. Apologies for the big loud gulp because this microphone's right next to my Adam's apple. There's so many things. Where do I start? Let's talk about each topic. So let's talk about first of all, mindfulness. I continue to do the weekly podcast with Natasha, and I've also in August done a couple of sessions for people to help them create meditations themselves and how teaching them how to run them. And I've also been on other people's podcasts talking about mindfulness and how my work helps with stress and anxiety and burnout. And so it's great to be on Ethan and Heather's podcasts this month. This last month. What else happened in August for mindfulness? And I also offered it as a service that I would do at the Naked Revive Wellbeing Center. So it'll be fun to offer that as a service. I also signed up for, so if I talk about clinical reflexology, I continue to do the practices, and I'm not far off. I think I'm 10 or no, just under 10 now sessions left before I go through the final qualification, because you need to get, even though I've completed the course, I did that in May, I still have to get 100 hours before you finally get your qualification. So I'm excited for that. So I continue to do at least a couple of sessions, two, 3, 4 sessions a week of reflexology, and really enjoying it, and also continue to offer it as a blend with psychic reflexologist service. I stopped doing sessions at the place in Morningside in Edinburgh, which is the Life Academy. I could still do it on request. So the door's not closed to that place. I'm still registered with them, but for now it's too much investment for me in terms of travel and parking, and so instead I have been investing my efforts on the Naked Revive Wellbeing Centre. So it's in Haddington, East Lothian. If you're interested, come along. It's a really beautiful place. It just opened last Friday, and then it's Thursday today, so 2 days ago I was there for the first time on the Tuesday. So I'll be there every Tuesday doing, really, I can offer all of my services there. There's no limit. I've kept it at the moment to clinical reflexology by itself, then the psychic reading, quantum energy healing, and clinical reflexology as a service, combined service, and then also the quantum energy healing by itself, which is like an hour and a half long service. And these are the things I do most of the time online, and I feel like I'm very much starting that part of the business from scratch. I didn't have any clients on, paying clients on the Tuesday when I started, but I hadn't done a lot of advertising, and I didn't pay for any advertising. I'm learning that it's not super helpful for me to pay for advertising, especially if you want to pay to advertise in a town. I don't think social media is very good at it. They're not very good at targeting that area. So it's much better to do something find a local Facebook group. I've managed to get more business and referrals through that, and interest and queries. And although I didn't get any clients, paying clients on the Tuesday, I did get to provide a treatment to one of the owners, and that was just really magical. And it felt important to be able to make that connection and build that, invest in those relationships. And also I did it. Also, I asked if I could record at very least their feet as I did the reflexology. So I didn't really have any footage of me doing that. So now I have that as well, which is fantastic for adverts and things, because people don't really know what to expect. Some people think reflexology is like a full body massage. So yeah, that's getting started. So I continue to invest in adverts for my time in adverts for clinical reflexology. I quite enjoy doing that, and I really enjoy doing the treatments. And it's a great way of connecting people. And really, the main thing for me when I talk about the business being me is that I continue to get out of my home and out of my camper van to connect with people face to face, and I feel that's a really important part of my journey. Get ready for those gulps. And I also started just at the very end of August, although was it technically the 1st of September? Well, it's close enough. I've just started the Swedish deep tissue massage course, and that's another year-long course that I'll be doing. It's not meant to be quite as intense as the reflexology course, but it's already off to an interesting start. And yeah, there's a lot to do for sure. So what's the next thing I do? I do all my other services, and so I call them my for the first two is meditation for your mind, and then clinical reflexology, and soon massage for your body. And then for your soul, my quantum energy healing, readings, clearings, soul retrievals, clearing homes, healing pets, removing negative energies and entities, dealing with possessions, and working with ley lines and sacred sites. And there's a long list of stuff. the most popular service continues to be the quantum energy healing, but it's really like a kind of catch-all. Like it, when you look at the list of things that I can cover in the session, it's really almost all of my abilities that I'll cover. Only the really like intense entity removals or possessions would I deal with in a separate service, which is the negative entity removal service, and I charge a little bit more for that. Yeah, bookings have definitely increased online following the live streams, and so that's been fantastic. When I first went through the live streams, there was like a flurry. I remember like back to back to back of many bookings, but now it's definitely settled down, and it's not a but. It's just like it's settled down to a more sustainable pace. And yeah, so I have capacity for bookings. If you're listening, please feel free to book me. Although I am very busy, I do have time for bookings for sure. And probably the biggest thing that I've invested my time in August has been the training courses. So I launched for the first time the Higher Self Intermediate training course. So there's a foundational Higher Self foundational training course, which is 2 months, and that takes you from meditation, mindfulness meditation, all the way through to like quantum energy healing and astral projection and light language and like a few of the advanced topics. And it's like the purpose is to build like a regular, I love the way the camera keeps doing that, to build a regular meditation practice so that you feel like you're deepening these foundations that allow you to learn more. And actually, for quite a lot of people, it depends on your abilities and how far you've already come in your journey. But the foundational course can be quite advanced. That there's people that teach parts of these, but it's already quite an advanced course. And I think in context for me, including like when I personally experienced doing something like, what is it, week 6 out of 8 in the foundational course, it took me, let me think, maybe 3 to 4 years starting my first meditations, 3 to 4 years for me to have done like a lineup with each of my spirit guides, and I do that in 6 weeks with people. So and I thought my journey was fast, from being like very asleep and kind of switched off psychically to then 7 years ago, going through my awakening. And here we are. Here's me running my own business, living my dream life. So that's been the foundational course ran again and completed. So it must have it started in July and completed. And the class, just incredible. And I'll only mention those that have publicly stated, and shared on the social media that they've been on the course. But there was Viviani, who also came on just after she finished, a couple of days after, came on a YouTube live stream with me, and it was just phenomenal. And she was sharing her many talents with the group, and that was really inspirational. And then there was also Chloe, and Chloe has just come on leaps and bounds, and it's incredible to see her like integrating these things that she's learnt and putting them into practice in her offerings really very quickly. Like it seems like for her there's this kind of flow of this beautiful integration, which I really love to see. So well done to both of you and everyone that was in the class. Okay, I'm back. What was I talking about? Yes, the higher self foundational training completed again, which is fantastic, and people have already signed up for the next run of it. So the next run's on the 30th of September. So really excited for that. And as I've been running the course, I continue to update the material, which I love. It feels really good to enhance and support the material, and and to tweak things as I learn them. And I've been reflecting those changes in the self-paced version. So this is a version you can just go through online. Excuse me while I readjust myself. So yeah, that's been really enjoyable to do, and it's funny, like the format of the course, the structure, the sequencing, it feels like really good. And yeah, I'm just really glad that that was my first experience. Like, creating training courses is hard, right? And it's like an entire industry. And, creating things in the right flow is hard. And so I felt like I got very lucky. I was very fortunate, especially my first class that I taught in January. They were just fantastic. All of the classes have been fantastic. So then I also started for the first time the Higher Self Intermediate training, the next level up. And perhaps another way of branding it would be to call it the practitioner course. And this is where I've included like a much, like there's some of the topics we go deeper in, like running client sessions, doing quantum energy healing, negative entity removal. We also bring in new subjects like we did soul retrieval. We did that last weekend, and it was one of the class members volunteered to do it. So that was we identified that they had a soul fragment, so we were able to work with them and do it for real, which was just incredible. And the other things that we're teaching, like how to do trance channeling, where you like allow like a spirit guide or another being to step inside of you, and then to allow them to talk through you, which is just a really beautiful experience. And it's so lovely to be able to teach, and it's really incredible to witness people doing it. And in the class we had people practicing, right? So it's like you could ask them any question and they would answer, like, what's it like on your planet? And what do you look like? What's your superpower or superpowers? And then, there's just a whole lot of other things. Where do I start? I feel like the training course, I've been very blessed because the intermediate training course has fantastic people on it, and 3 of which were in the first foundational course that I ran in January. And that they gave great feedback. I realized that I'd put, and I've said this to the class, that I invested so much time in the content, and there's too much to teach in just a 1.5 hour session on Zoom each week. So what I think my intention was to get people to kind of complete their own tasks by themselves, but really I don't think even fantastic documentation shows you how to do something. Like, I think you need like an instructional video, and I think that's maybe one idea that I could do, is to provide a video of me talking and practicing something first. But people really want to practice it with others, and that's really important. So what we've done is, I think after the first couple of weeks, now there's been, I think, 3 or maybe 4 additional sessions, 1 to 1.5 hour sessions that we've done. So in the next run of the intermediate training, I need to increase, the amount of time that people spend. So probably do like an hour and a half twice a week. And then if we don't use it all, then great. But yeah, I think that's what's going to be needed. So I think also the depth of the intermediate training course is just incredible. And I don't mean like to sound egotistical. It's more that I had the time, because as I wrote that course, I was like, I just left my corporate job and I was quieter in my business. And I dedicated I think close to 10 days of effort, and there were long days and writing a lot and soul searching and practicing, and then looking at finding examples of how I've done these things before, like the videos of them, looking at some research online as well, providing references. So yeah, that's felt good. I really love the training. I love it just as much as the doing, doing the work. So that's been fantastic. What else happened in August? Oh, there's so many things. So yeah, the intermediate training continues. Oh, I also realized that it's too much. That actually running two courses at the same time is too much. So what will happen at the moment is the intermediate training will finish. It's just going into week 6, so it'll finish in 2-3 weeks, and then once the intermediate training's done, I'll then go on and do the and before it finishes, I'll have created start creating the material for the advanced course. And it was quite funny. I couldn't figure out what the advanced course is, because it's like for me. It's like the very edge of my my knowledge, and yet what I feel it's like I'll be teaching some of the things in the advanced course where the approaches that I use to absorb, receive wisdom from my guides and from higher realms, and then how to integrate it and create, services and practices. And I think that'll be a really fascinating. It'll be much more about the, doing these things yourself. A bit like, if you want to teach someone to. So if you want to give someone water, teach them how to build their own well, and that's what I'll be doing, like getting people to build their own wells. I'll think of a better analogy. Build their own cars rather than just driving them. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Some other cool things happen. So I've had more clients signing up for mentoring. At least 3, maybe 4 clients have booked multiple sessions, and so especially for those that are booking more, at the moment more than 3 sessions, I'd like have this kind of structured approach. And I say structured, it's like to give some guidance to the sessions rather than just feeling open-ended and not really, not sure how they connect together. And it tends to be like what challenges do you face, and finding out about them and the trauma in the past lives and doing some healing on those. And then second is like looking at future, and what you really want from your future. And then the third is like your shadow work. And then fourth is like, coming up with the actions and implementing those. Fifth is like actually reviewing how far you've got with them. And sixth is like all your next steps and the plans to continue on to, address things you want towards your dream life. So like as a pattern, it's very similar to the Higher Self Foundational Training course pattern. And it's almost like problem, future, shadow work, and then do the things. So yeah, I think that feels really good. And it helps me reflect a bit more on potential reordering of some of the intermediate training course, which I'll think about. I also did my first session, client session on a beach. I've done them out in nature before, but it was really lovely. We were down at the beach where I grew up doing a session, so that was just it was just absolutely fantastic. I'm sure there is more things, so many things, but that's a great start. So I'll talk a little bit about the financial side. So I'm still not going to share the exact figures. And for the same reason I gave last month, is that I still don't know what my exact costs are, or even what my total revenue has been, because I've just switched like accountancy companies who are helping me, like teach me how to do all the accounting part, and at the moment like running my books. So I have like a business bank account where my business, all the money that you guys pay me goes into, and then I have to from that take off my costs, like my Wix website, which is it £388 times 2, because I have 2 websites. excuse me, the Heart Centre of Wellness and then the John Binnie website. And I may migrate over to one in time, but it'll be a lot of effort. It'll probably be weeks of effort. I also, so I just met with them yesterday, and we're with my accounting company, and we're figuring all that stuff out. And it's it's going well. It's I would say, in terms of, if you looked on face value what my website thinks, and my website takes most of my orders, that in June I made more money than I'd ever made in the previous years, which isn't totally surprising, because that was me like properly starting the business, right, and not focusing 30 to 40 hours a week at my previous corporate job, even though I was only meant to be working there 3 days a week. And then in July, I doubled that figure, and then August has been another doubling of the previous figure. So there or thereabouts, and so that's been really lovely. It's really reassuring. I feel really humbled and grateful, and although it's much less than I've earned for many years in my previous career, it feels really good that it's on the right track, and very quickly it feels like it's a sustainable business, that it's growing well. And I love that, if you really just focus on the foundations, having automation for like your booking, so people can just book you in and pay you, and you don't have to like do lots of admin all the time, like constantly seeking ways to reduce the amount of admin. I have quite a lot of admin for the start and end of training courses. It's about half a day. It's actually my next task after this, is like following up on some of the tasks or written processes for these, and I'll figure out like whether I can automate some of these, which would just be fantastic to do. Because I don't really add any value. They're just kind of mind-numbing tasks. But some of these, sometimes admin's necessary, and it also helps you reflect on other things. So yeah, financially, it's going well and going in the right direction. I still don't take any of the money out of the business yet. What I've got to do is figure out how my tax works, and I don't have a pension set up and all these things. So I think that was maybe a surprise to me, was when could I start taking a salary, like actually receiving the money from business that I'm getting through. But and until you kind of get all these things ironed out in the UK anyway, you don't need to do your taxes if you're not VAT registered, I believe. And I'm not VAT registered until towards the end of the financial year. So that's not till March, April time. So that's helpful. So theoretically, in other words, I could have taken some money out conservatively if I was really struggling to eat or heat our home. But yeah, that's all fine, and that's going well. And yeah, today I was like mailing a pension advisor. What am I going to do about my pension? Let's talk about all the other things. So some of the lessons, so like I think I've talked about updates across the different services. The highs of August were definitely launching the intermediate training course for the first time, and seeing across both foundational and intermediate training courses such incredible people doing such incredible things. Truly astounding, and it just fills me with such joy. They're the courses I always wanted when I was John Binnie. 5 years ago, I would have just loved to have gone on those training courses, and now that I can offer that to other people on their journeys, and that they can evolve that content, it's just phenomenal. The next thing is, the things I've learned is, I did have a few, and I'm sorry, body, I I had a few days that were really long. This week has been quite intense. You know, I I had Sunday where I was all day in Swedish massage training, and then after that went to run a session for an hour and a half session for the intermediate training after like 10 hours of massage training. And it's like, wow, I am tired. And then to keep going through the week in a similar patterns, like a long day and then doing stuff at night. And so I have had not many, maybe 3 or 4 in August, 3 or 4 13-hour days. And I realized what was happening was that I allow people, so you can book me like today or tomorrow, but the problem is I don't always have like the physical capacity to be able to take people on because my booking hours are still very broad, and I have many of my clients are in, or most of them are continue to be in the US and Canada, so that's a big thing. So what I've done is I've started to realize, okay, I just need to like when I get, depending on what sorts of bookings are, what activity I'm doing in a day, just trying to balance out that energy so that I can have a break either side of it, or that there's, you know, some things I move on to the next day. And when I just have to get some of the admin stuff done, and I didn't quite believe how much, I mean, I kind of call everything admin when it's not like, you know, it can be developing course content, it can be, you know, doing website graphics for marketing. There's a lot of jobs all in one that you have to do. So that's been really cool to figure out how to better balance the work. And yesterday was a really long day, but I had in a what must have been a what time did I start? 9, and I finished at 8:30. But I was still doing write-ups until about 11 p.m. at night. Yeah, that was a really long day. But I knew that it was happening, so I gave myself lots more time off yesterday. Sorry, the day before, and then also today has been almost all admin stuff. And then just watching my time, so I need to get ready for a YouTube live stream shortly. And then also lots of self-care. So I took off yesterday like about 3 hours in between all that stuff, and I was doing, you know, laying on the grass in the sunshine. I had a nap at lunchtime. I spent a couple of hours doing upgrades for my camper van and fixing a leak. Like these are things that just take me out of my work and off my phone, and that's been really helpful. Excuse me. The next thing is, yeah, my work-life balance has like in a week is incredible. It's just some days are really intense. So I have been able to do continue to do camping. We had a couple of nights away near Amble, which was just a lot of fun. A couple of nights, was it more? We had a week. Yeah, we had a week, or almost a week. It was like four or 5 nights. And then tomorrow we're going camping. So tomorrow, Kira, our daughter, is going to university. So we'll be packing up the Binnie train tonight after YouTube live stream, and then driving up to her university where she'll be staying there for the next 3 years. And that's really powerful because it's a huge event in our lives, and of course in hers. And so yeah, we're just really excited for her and so proud of her on a journey. So we're going camping tomorrow to camp near her university. Is actually a campsite right next, like literally the other side of the wall from the university. So that's really handy. We've got that for a couple of nights, and then we're back again for a couple of nights a week later to a nearby place, not the same place. And we will do more camping, more. So I love that flexibility. And what I now do is I just, like, I'll chat with my wife and say, oh, you know, in like a week or 2 weeks time, we should have some time off. And I just book that in my calendar, and that's fantastic. And if I got to a place where I was so busy with work, with inbound work, I'd block more days out each week so that I was, had that flexibility. It's also one reason why I'm only doing at the moment 1 day a week at the Naked Revive Wellbeing Center, because I just want to have 1 day where I could go away Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday for camping, and then do 1 day in the Wellbeing Center. So yeah, it's great to have that mix of both. So definitely enjoying that, enjoying the freedom. Like you don't have to go into work, and there's just not this thing where I have to explain to someone the start time, the end time. Although I was chuckling to myself about a joke earlier, it was like, what are the working hours? Or sorry, the joke is, as a business owner, do you find the working hours unpredictable? And the wrong answer to that is, oh, I don't find them unpredictable. It's just all the time. And excuse me, you just don't want that, right? So I'm definitely getting better at that. And I find that a really helpful like forcing function is hobbies and rest, and booking these things in stops that bleed over from work. So that's good. And so yeah, definitely living the dream life. If I summarize, definitely living the dream life for the flexibility of lifestyle, the work-life balance, being able to go camping a lot more. Also, I've worked down at the beach a few times, which has just been phenomenal. When I'm tired, I can just take naps and recuperate. The business continues to pick up the training courses, my one-to-one sessions, my mentoring, my mindfulness, and my clinical reflexology, all going in the absolute right direction. My business feels very sustainable, and it's a really interesting feeling. My wife and I were chatting, and she was just saying, "Yeah, I feel like you're very quickly it feels sustainable, right?" And as my guides kept telling me before I started, the biggest challenge has been to not burn myself out. And so, to not just work crazy hard, because when you're in a lack mindset, you just want to work all the hours that, God sends you, as it were. And actually the best thing for you is to work less hours and to be strong and healthy and relaxed. And it's hard. Like, that's a hard kind of mental mindset to enforce, but it's just so important. Whenever I'm feeling doubt, I say things like, I'm building a business. Whenever I see, you get these ridiculous little dashboards on your websites, or I use Stripe for payments, or on my bank account to say, up by 100%, down by 68%, whatever each day. And you're just like, this is not helpful. All you're doing is like bouncing. It's like noise. It's not, these are not helpful measurements, and they just panic you. Like I had a feeling, I'm sure, where I hadn't had a single booking in 6 days, and it was like, why is that important? Because there's all these other things going on as well. I've got my reflexology, I've got my I'm training and learning new things, I'm building training courses, I'm running training courses. Like, there's so many aspects to the business that some of these noisier indicators are easy to feel triggered by. So now I just tend to look at them and go, well, it's an interesting, single data point. And I am really looking forward to getting a financial report back once I work through it with my accountant, to see even just the total money that the company's made, and that I've made. The company's made, because I would have to get taxed to get money off that. But yeah, I think if you're watching this and you're thinking about leaving your salaried job, then do it. Do it. It's a really fun ride, and I do think it's a good idea to have some savings so that you can be prepared before you go in and do that takes the heat off that kind of do or die aspect of the business. Like, I don't think you should really be judging your business as to whether it's viable within the first days, weeks, or even the first months, because you're just getting started. You're just learning how to run a business for the first time. You're just learning how to, bill your customers, price your products, build your products, like all these things. So yeah, I find that really, really interesting. And I think it's really good advice to just, to surrender to the process, to go with it, to know that if it's really going to work, then things will magically align and happen for you and your business. And when things don't work, just drop them. I still go into, every couple of weeks I go into my services and I pull out services that I just don't use anymore. In fact, I did a revamp of the clinical reflexology part of my website so that I could show that I'm working on, you can now book me at the Naked Revive location, but I reworked all that and I got rid of maybe half of the services I was offering them because they'd been new. I tried them a couple of months ago, and with either little or no bookings, a service for me just won't survive. Like I'll just move it out of the way because it's just clutter. It's the noise. So I don't delete it on the website. It's still there. It's just hidden. It's kind of archived in the background, which is good because if someone asks for it, I can bring it back out. And between that, looking forwards, wow, September I'm doing things like exploring, running a retreat in Philadelphia, which would be fantastic. At least 7 people have expressed interest, and all I did was ask in the newsletter, just respond to this if you're interested. If I was to advertise, place and a date and a time and a cost, then I'm sure I'd get more people. So that definitely looks likely to happen. Not November, but more likely early next year / spring, so in 2025. And yeah, just I have lots more exciting podcast guests, and building networks with the different podcasters is really good fun. I really enjoy podcasting, but it has to be with people that I feel aligned with. And I think that's everything. That's probably about 45 minutes. So thank you for watching and putting up with my funny noises and gulps. And my advice is, like, just if you're thinking of doing this, put your self-love first and think about that vision. What is the vision and how are you going to get there without having like a detailed plan? Have a think about all the services and things that you're going to offer to people, and be open to receiving feedback and ideas for new services. So yeah, I hope this helps. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm sending my love from Scotland. Take care. Love you.